Coach, this is, a changing atmosphere, not just for the Big 12, but for you. You step in, interim head coach at West Virginia, and now all you have to do is deal with 4 more teams and a bigger conference. How do you view all of the newness to what you're experiencing right now?
I welcome all the newness we can get because, I'm new to this position. So the more changes that everybody else, whether it be Bill Self and Scott Drew, have to make and navigate, the more the merrier for me. So, I'm excited about the new Big 12. It's going to be fun. It's really exciting to have a couple more in our own time zone.
Yes, yes.
It's welcoming.
Yeah, you guys somebody else is here.
Yeah, I saw Coach Dawkins and Coach Miller, and I was like, welcome to, the Big 12 in the Eastern time zone. So, certainly it's all over the place, but I think it's great. It's going to be exciting to have all this new blood in the conference and see where it goes from there.
BYU is going to do that next year with Utah and Colorado and half the year Arizona State. But, yeah, it'll be like, hey, welcome. Okay, how would you summarize the last 16 years of being on Bob Huggins' staffs at Kansas State and West Virginia that has prepared you for this moment?
Well, it was great to learn under a Hall of Fame coach. I knew he was going to end up in the Hall of Fame, and from day one that I met him, and I was excited as a GA that he came into Kansas State, and we got along great from day one. And I got my master's degree, and I worked for them for 1 year under Kansas State, and then he got the job at West Virginia, and my wife and I were newly married, and he gave me the opportunity to come out, and I said, let's do it. Let's make a run at this and see where it goes. And we got out of our comfort zone and moved across the country, and it was a beautiful thing. And I worked up, sat in about every office, there at West Virginia, whether it be a video coordinator, director of ops, interim assistant, associate AD for basketball operations, back to assistant. But it moved fast, and it means a lot to me, what I learned from him, and that's, I keep saying, this is not the storybook way of getting a job, and I hate the way it happened, but here it is. I was ready for the opportunity, and I'm going to seize it.
How would you explain the last 10 to 12 months of your life?
Ooh, it went fast. It went really fast, and every day I just felt the pressure because, everything got squeezed. And when you got a roster of 4 or 5 guys in the middle of July, and you're thinking to yourself, where are we going from here? How do I get this to a point to where we have a whole squad in mid-August and we're going to work to try to win some games? So, I had to right off the bat kind of push a foreign trip to the following year and say, hey, I need some time. I need to build. And I felt good with the guys that we had in terms of the guys that carried over that we had recruited, whether it be as an assistant coach under Huggs that we had on campus already. And I felt like if we kept those 3 guys, whether it be Kerr Kriisa and Jesse Edwards and Raekwon Battle, those guys could help me. If I can get them to buy in with my vision, and I could bring some other pieces together to put around them, and we'd be successful.
Let's talk about those guys, because Jesse Edwards led the ACC in blocks, second boards from Syracuse. He is a beast. And then Arizona point guard Kerr Kriisa. This dude is capable of anything. Like, can go triple-double, can put it up from 3, 5 assists a game, led the Pac-12. And then you're waiting on Raekwon Battle's waivers still from Montana State?
Yep.
Okay.
And that's a big piece.
Those some dudes.
Yeah, those 3 really good players. So and we got some really good talent around them as well. I don't want to be mindful of them as well. But Kerr Kriisa, who doesn't want to play with a pass-first guy? And he led the Pac-12 in assists last year. I think at about 5 and some change per game. Was nearly double digits in scoring as well. But he's a pass-first guy. Quinn calls him the magician. He never knows when the ball's just going to he got to be ready for it at all times. And as a teammate, who doesn't want to play with a point guard like that? You see a lot of point guards out there trying to get their own. Kerr is trying to get everybody involved. So to have a point guard like that and then a big with Jesse Edwards, those 2 in a pick-and-roll combination and in a rim run combination out of a pick-and-roll is a work of art. And he can really rebound it. He can, like you said, was it 2 blocks a game?
Yeah, almost 3.
Almost 3.
He's a beast.
I'm trying to transition him out of that 2-3 zone mentality and try to. So he's got to be out there guarding ball screens and everything.
Yes.
So we're trying to figure out how we keep him and manage him because I don't have a lot of depth at the big, especially at the 5 position. So trying to keep him out of foul trouble is going to be an issue. But he's a special, special player. And so those two, and I think the history of college basketball, when you got a really good point guard and a really good big, you got a chance.
Yep.
And then the Raekwon battle, waiting for that waiver to be decided. And if we do get that, which I feel really good about it because I think the NCAA is going to do right by us on that one. And we get that piece in place, and we get a heck of a chance to, win a lot of games.
I've watched a lot of West Virginia basketball over the years, and that's a credit to Bob Huggins largely because I've enjoyed following his career and just his teams. And there are a couple of words that come to mind naturally: toughness, defense, and just always have amazing three-point shooters. So, is that like the continued path for you, or are you going to bring a different element to the identity you're trying to establish?
Amazing three-point shooters. Who would that be?
Well, listen, you have bigs that can shoot threes, right?
Well, for years we were the one of the best offensive rebounding teams, and I kept on joking it's because we couldn't shoot the ball. So some of our best offense was missed shots. So the amazing three-point shooters, I have to look back at that.
All right.
No, we've had some good players, and certainly I'd like to carry over some of that defensive mentality, but it's not lost on me. I got a bunch of guys from a bunch of different programs that came in really late in a bunch of different systems. So it's not going to happen overnight. The offense is going to change a lot, but the defensive structure, we're trying to, force our will on them to get to a point that, we're really competitive defensively. And that's where I think we can really make some strides in terms of putting us over the edge if we can really guard.
We know the Big 12 is tough, but what makes it so tough kind of night in and night out as the number 1 league in the country?
I think first and foremost is the coaches. I got in that team photo, and I remember the first Zoom I got, and it's a little overwhelming. I'm like, these guys are legit coaches. They've been doing it for years, and here I am, as an interim head coach, and I don't really look at myself as that, but they tag me as that. And I think I'm going to have a job a year from now. But going up against those guys that have so much more experience. And not only that, they got great talent behind them. So it's going to be a challenge, and it's something I'm excited about taking on.
What do you know about BYU basketball at this point? And maybe it's not a lot because you got a lot of other things you're handling. But what do you know about BYU right now?
I don't know a lot, to be honest with you. Coach Pope, we just met for the first time, out there. And he seems like an incredible coach and an incredible man. So I look forward to getting to know him better. I'm glad I don't have to go there on year 1 for sure, and they got to come to us. So, when you figure out when you're an outlier in this league, all the travel is just it's crazy, and it's just going to get worse and worse. But whoever manages that is probably going to have the advantage.
Yeah, the ops guys are busy these days. February 3rd in Morgantown. What is a game like at West Virginia?
I think you're going to be very presently. Well, I mean, we have a very passionate fan base, and we have 1.8 million people in the state. And Marshall's there, but West Virginia is the pro team in the state.
It's the show.
It is the show. And our fans are incredibly passionate night in and night out. And that time of year, everybody's 100% locked in on basketball. And you never know if you get a couple inches of snow, it's going to be hard to get to the game. But regardless, they're going to find their way there. And they're going to be packed to the roof and passionate as any fan base in the country.
My sister in Peterstown is excited about the BYU games in Morgantown. That'll be awesome.
Perhaps I got a little lost in the Kevin Pittsnoggles and Joe Alexander idea.
Nice Google.
Those guys, Pittsnoggles is the one I was thinking of specifically. That dude could play.
Could shoot it,
Yeah, well, Pittsnoggles, he wasn't there. Joe was there when we got there.
Yeah.
And Joe was probably one of the most natural athletes I've ever seen. And I'm like, at that point in time, I was practicing with the guys and I was going against him. He's just dunking on everybody. He was just a freak athlete and something that I've never really seen in person. So, and no, it's those are two of the iconic names certainly in West Virginia history. And Joe did us really well that first year. He would end up being the 8th pick in the draft.
Yeah.
And really upped his stock late that year. But yeah, he helped us win a lot of games. Took us to the Sweet 16 that first year, and then end up, doing so well for himself that his draft stock went up really high and really quick. And so we only had him for that first year, but it was a fun year.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess there's Jerry West too. Right?
There's the logo. Yeah, West Virginia. Let's go.
Coach, we're thrilled for you. We wish you the best of luck as you take over, and a really fun, challenging opportunity for you.
Look forward to having you guys in Morgantown.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun.
Absolutely.